Hey everyone, let's get started with a march in place. So keep a slow pace at first and we'll increase that intensity over time. You probably noticed I have hand weights with me. You can choose to do this routine with or without weights. Now the bubbles above my head represent the number of songs we have left for this routine. And today we've got a nice walk through a beautiful forest. In part 2, we'll reach the peak. Up next, we have a 3-step hither, thither. So pick a starting spot, go 3 steps forward and 3 steps back. Now, depending on your space, you might have to go side to side or just take 1 step forward and 1 back. Once you get the rhythm, move those arms. Up next, let's put our arms at 90-degree angle and raise those knees up to tap our hands for a high knee march. Now you can move those arms to burn more calories if you like. Return to a march in place. All right, let's switch back to the 3 steps, hither, thither. You can pick up the pace or bring that knee up if you want to increase the intensity. Don't forget to move those arms. It's a bit of a balance routine. Don't forget to breathe. All right, back to the high knee march. All right, up next we have a low impact Highland dance. So stand 1 hand on your hip, 1 arm over your head, tap out with that toe, and then bring it in, tapping with your toe closer to the base of your foot. And repeat. So this is a low impact version of a Scottish Highland dance. You know, I've got the red hair, so I took lessons when I was 8. It's mandatory, you see. If you prefer, let's switch feet, but first, take a circle, and then switch toes. Other arm goes over top of our head. All right, let's return back to the march in place. Up next, we have butt kickers. So kick those shins back. You want your feet hitting the buttocks. Well, as close to the buttocks as you can get. So there's lots of room for increasing the intensity with this one. You can move your arms, burn those extra calories. You can bring them out in front of you and then squeeze the shoulder blades back. So our next move will be bringing the pace down with a static knee raise. Let's move into that static high knee. So firmly plant your left foot, raise your right knee up to about hip height, and we're gonna hold this for the full 40 seconds. So this develops our sense of balance, which is really important for preventing future injury. And you can hold onto a chair or the wall if you need further support. Engage your abs, keep those lungs open. Squeeze your glutes. Okay, before switching sides, we're going to return to a march in place. All right, let's do the left leg now. So firmly plant that right foot, and once you have balance, bring the left knee up. Engage your core, squeeze your glutes, taking nice deep breaths, giving your muscles the oxygen they need. Now, if you want to add more of a challenge to this one, you can always bend with the leg that's giving you the stability. All right, let's return to butt kickers. Up next, we have grapevine jack. So normally I'd go side to side, but I'm limited on space today, so we're just gonna take a diagonal. So go to the end, step 1 foot out at a time, raise those arms up over your head. All right, up next we have step in and out. So squat slightly, stepping out 1 foot at a time, and back in. Now as you come in, stand back up, and then squat on the out. In a moment, we're gonna do grapevine jacks and travel. Stepping out, raising those arms up above your head. All right, up next we have a march in place. So returning to the center of your mat, move those arms. All right, our next 2 moves will be upper body focused. So keep a slight march though to keep the cardio up. Raise your arms up and pulse towards the ceiling. All right, let's pulse towards the ground. And let's pulse back. Pulse forward. And for the last 5 seconds, let's pulse in front. And raise your arms up. We're just gonna hold them up for the next 40 seconds. So if you want more of a challenge, you can do arm rotations. Otherwise, just keep them up. And return to march in place. So give it all you got. All right, 10 seconds left. We're almost done. Part 1. Let's continue with marching in place. So moving those arms, keep those knees nice and high. And if you're joining me from part one, pick up the pace. Also, you'll notice this is where we end with part one. And I thought as I was hiking through the forest, I thought I had reached the peak. But it turns out I had another 2.5 kilometers to go. So while holding the camera, it takes about 30 minutes to hike through the forest. But there's some drama along the way, and through movie magic, we'll get there in 15. All right, up next, so step your left foot forward and bring that right knee up. Place your right leg down and step that left leg back. And repeat the same movement. Now I like to incorporate movements like this because it requires a certain level of balance, and that will really prevent injuries if you train your body how to cope in unstable environments. Let's switch sides. So bringing the right leg forward and the left knee up. Bring the left leg down, step back with that right foot, and repeat. For our next move, plant that left leg, step through, forward with your right, and as far back as you can go. Now, if you want to make this move more challenging, you can go down into a deep lunge. Okay, let's switch sides, planting that right foot, hovering the left, finding stability in the right leg, and stepping through. All right, next we have a traveling march. So you can go either forward or back with this one. All right, let's do side step jacks. So hands up over your head and stepping out with one foot at a time. You can do jumping jacks here, but I'm going to keep it nice and low impact. So you might be wondering, why? There's a tree behind her, what? So this is a Canadian tradition, and if you check videos later on, the tree will be decorated. So it's for the holiday season. All right, keep it up, keep breathing. Okay, let's add a bit of a travel to that. So side to side, and then stepping in and out. Now, if you have more space, feel free to use it. Whew. All right, let's return to a march in place. So back to the center of your mat, bringing those knees nice and high and moving those arms. You're doing great. Pick up the pace if you can. All right, this one we have a side lunge. So stepping out to the side, let your hips go back first, and then sink down into the right leg, keeping the left leg straight. And switch sides. Now you can go as deep as what you're comfortable. You want to feel it in your glutes and your hip, really engaging those muscles. Now if there's any move that you don't like, just return back to a march in place. All right, up next we have an X march. So step to the northeast, back to the center, southwest, back to the center, southeast, back to the center, and then northwest, back to the center, and repeat. So top right, back left, top left, back right. Just keep those arms moving. All right, we got a slow knee to elbow, so we're gonna slow things down. Bring your hands up by your ears. Slowly raise one knee up while bringing the opposite elbow to the opposite knee. And then do the other side. So this is to engage the core. And do what you can here. Like if you're just comfortable with doing a slight twist, that will work the obliques. Don't forget to breathe. I was holding my breath there. Awesome. Okay, this one's my favorite. So do a slight squat and stick your foot straight out in front of you and then draw a semicircle all the way to the back. I need to move forward a bit and then do the other side and then draw from the back to the front. Now, I actually got this one from Fitness Blender. I don't know if they created the move, but I like to give credit where credit is due. And Fitness Blender is just another channel that does a very good job. So there's no particular pattern to this. Just try to do each side equally. All right, up next, stand tall, engage your core. We're gonna work the hips and the glutes a bit, raising our right leg out to the side. Now, if you need to hold on to a chair for balance, do so. In a moment, we're gonna switch sides. Awesome. Other leg, find stability in the planted foot, and then squeeze your glutes up, engage your core. Sometimes I forget. All right, next, similar thing, but we want to put the foot at a slight backwards angle. So engage your core, squeeze your glutes, stand tall. And switch sides. So feel a burn. That's the point of this. bring our legs to the front now. So do what you can with this one. If you're comfortable with just going half range, it's all great. Do what you can do. Try and touch your toe. This one is also great with the abs, working the full body. All right, I think there's 2 moves left. So we got a slow knee march. So raise your knee up, controlling the movement all the way through. Slow motion. Really engage all your muscles with this. Resist the movement. March in place. Get it all if you got it. If you want a low impact version, just do a squat. I'm getting a tree branch in the tuchus. So pick the variation you like. All right, and break. So keep your energy up during the break with a shuffle or a jog in place. Up next, we have a step-in squat. So that's 6 steps in and out, followed by a deep squat. All right, keep the jog, and let's go. All right, and break. Jog in place. Next, we have a knee drive. So take a lunge position and go deep into the lunge. Drive your knee up and hop. Switch legs. Let's go. And the low impact version. Otherwise, get down on that lunge. Jog in place. All right, next we have a ski squat. So getting with your feet together, get in the squat, Have your elbows at your side and drive your arms back as if you're skiing. Let's go. To really activate those triceps, keeping your lower back straight. All right, and break, jog in place. Up next, we have a high knee torso twist. So raise up one knee, twist, tap your knee, and then do the other side. All right, let's go. So stand nice and tall for this one, engaging your core. And break. Next, we have a side shuffle and tap. So stick your arms straight out, stepping side to side, tap your shoulders. All right, let's go. So really flex those biceps to get the most out of this move. Keep those arms up. And break. Next up, we have a cross crunch. So have your hands up at your head and bring your elbow to your opposite knee and then switch to the other side. Let's go. So really focus and engage that core. Jog in place. All right, up next we got a football footwork. So standing on the balls of your feet, heels up, running in place. Let's go. So for a low impact version, just do a high knee raise. Five seconds left. And relax. Jog in place. Next, we have a squat and toe tap. So get low into a static squat and tap your toe out to the side. Whew. Good job. Let's go. Get lower if you can. 5 seconds left. Awesome, jog in place. Next we have a good morning and oblique crunch. So hands to your head, feet together, bending at your hip, followed by an oblique crunch, bringing your shoulder, your elbow to the same knee. Let's go. So make sure to keep your shoulders pulled back and your back straight. And we're done. Jog in place. All right, up next we have a toe and heel tap. So squat down, touch your toe, stand up, touch your heel. And then same thing for the other side. Let's go. Three, two, one. We're done. Jog in place. All right, one more move. We have a raised knee fly. So raise your knee up and do a chest fly. Let's go. So really squeeze your shoulder blades and chest muscles. This one is really good on balance. Let's cool things down with a slow march in place. Take deep breaths, replenish the oxygen to your muscles. And when you're ready, let's stretch out the calf. So place that left leg forward, bend from the hip, keeping your back straight, keeping integrity in that lower back. And you can either reach down towards your toe or do as I'm doing and keep your hands on your knees. Let's switch sides. Move your hips to keep things active. Find the stretch. All right, let's point our toes a couple times to stretch out the shins. You can hold on to a chair if balance is a bit tricky. All right, grab that foot, pull it behind you for a quad stretch. So we want to feel the stretch in the front of our thighs. Now, if balance is an issue for you here, just do slow butt kickers, but keep in mind this is a cool down, so just enough to feel the stretch in the front. All right, switch feet if you're holding your foot. Now slowly lower that toe back behind you, keeping the heel raised up off the ground. We want to stretch out the hip flexors. So tuck your pelvis and feel a nice stretch in the front of your hip. Bounce slightly if your muscles and joints tend to seize up. Keep these movements active and don't hold a position too long. Now you can stay there, or if you're comfortable with balance, you can bring your left heel to your right knee, pushing gently on the knee to get a nice stretch in the hip. Now let's do the other side. Tuck the pelvis, stand tall. Feel a stretch in the hip. If you're comfortable, bring that right ankle to the left knee. Bring your hands together. I'm going to stretch towards the ceiling. Let's do the left oblique, so stretch that hand up to the corner of the ceiling. Other side. Okay, now we're going to stretch out our back. You can get on your hands and knees for cat-cow. Otherwise, just place your hands on the tops of your knees while standing, and we're going to roll our back up and our head down, getting a nice stretch in the lower back. Now slowly come back up and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let's repeat. Keep this movement nice and slow. Awesome. For the last move, we're just going to sit cross-legged. Now, I grew up in a culture where it was sort of common knowledge that a person would age out of the mobility to be able to do this, but during my PhD supervisor, who's in his 70s, came and sat with me on the grass, and I was like, whoa. So I aspire to one day make a kid go, whoa. All right, and we're done. Enjoy the view. Don't forget to drink plenty of water. And if you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.